Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story TV and the Her Story podcast. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And on International Women's Day, I get the pleasure to introduce a new member of our tribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Hello, everyone. What an honor it is to be on here on such a special day. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Janece, although I go by JLeAnn, and I'm based in Indianapolis, Indiana, and my age is 36. So excited to be here, and I thank Gertrude for the honor of being able to talk to you today. So my story, right? What is this all about? Why am I here? To be a part of an awesome tribe of other women sharing who they are. I just wanted to have the opportunity to discuss and share with you who I am. So I am JLeAnn, and my story is coming from the place of health and more so from a wellness perspective. Oh my gosh. So all my life, one way or another, I have what people have called struggled with my weight from a physical perspective. I have been through what people would label, health would label obesity, and I fought it for years. And I know I said I was 36 years old, but out of those years, majority of it was used in battling my health. When I was a baby, I wasn't. I would say maybe around 9ish is when I began to gain and pick up weight. And it seemed like I struggled from there through middle school, through high school, on up and through college until I graduated. And it really took a toll on my self esteem, as self esteem is something that we believe about ourselves and we think about ourselves. And by virtue of that, we act out, right? And so mine was stripped. No one, whether somebody thought it or not, could have told me I was worth anything because I had already told myself I was not. So I had to learn how to be myself and love myself. And that was a process for me. And when I began to look at what really was going on and how my weight physically was really related to weights I was carrying emotionally, I think I hit a gold mine. It was like I that came to my mind, and from there I was able to go forth in everything that I was needing to do to accomplish my goals. So I'd say about 5 years ago is when I really started getting clear and focused about wanting change. Back in my background, I have my master's in psychology, and so I was well familiar with behavior and how things function in the mind. But for myself, I put everything and everyone else before me. I didn't really know who I was, let alone after know who I was, I didn't like who I was. And so I had to rearrange myself and begin to learn myself all over again and afresh. And so what I did is I got involved with a behavioral modification type course. And I took myself through a journey of learning me, of being authentically me, of respecting and honoring me, of seeing how all these things connected to what I did physically. And so as I began to heal in my mind and in my soul, my body started lining up. And this is about 5 years ago. So at my highest weight, I was in the high 400s, and I can reportedly, with love and not with braggadociousness, but with love, I can peacefully, lovingly say that I am now at in the twos, in the 250 range, and so that's about 198 pounds that I have released, and I call it releasing weights and eliminating waste. And so out of that really began a journey for me where I began to coach and encourage so many others to love themselves. It was like a revolution opened up to me. And I have so much passion about helping people see them and be them because I truly believe that seeing breeds being, that the more that we see love and light and goodness, the more we're going to want to be it. And I try to exude that in everything that I do. And so I'm really, really, really committed and dedicated and faithful to the journey of health. And I love encouraging others to do the same, not because of size, but because of life.
Wow, what an amazing journey you've been on. I can so relate. I was also one of those women, went through a separation, went through a divorce, packed on a ton of weight, and ended up collapsing with congestive heart failure. So I know the journey you've been on, but what I love about your story is the word release. It's interesting how on a subconscious level, we hold on to that weight. It's almost like a blanket, like a protection around us. And I was always very, very tiny most of my life. I'm not very tall, so I'm about 1.6 meters tall. And even when I had my 3 children, I was small, I was scrawny, tiny little woman. And then I moved to New Zealand, and then I owned a car, and I was driving everywhere. And then this weight just came on, and then relationship problems. And I can actually remember the day I decided to put on weight. I remember thinking maybe if I didn't look attractive, all of the stuff we were having in our relationship would go away. And I have struggled to release it. I'm still on that journey. So what would you say was the turning point for you in recognizing the journey you were on?
I think I got tired. It was exhausting for me to continue to carry. It wasn't just heavy physically. Like I said, my weight was emotional and so much in my soul and my mind that it was too heavy. And I really began to sink into depression. And that's a real place for me that I got. And it landed me up in the hospital. You talked about yours with congestive heart failure. Mine turned into space and place when it came to when I was ready to check out of here. And so I had taken some pills that could have taken me out. So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
a pivotal moment in my life was.
Yeah, the mind is an interesting thing. Our minds can take us to very, very dark places. And I remember when I decided to leave my ex, I was at that point as well. I had a recurring dream that came 3 times in a row that I would commit suicide on my balcony. And when I had the third dream, I decided to leave. I knew that my mind was taking me to a very dark place. And a lot of times women don't want to talk about these mental health issues. You know, people who know me think I'm the most positive person on the planet. And yes, I am, but I have had challenges of my own. Yeah.
Absolutely. I really get that. I definitely, that definitely resonates with me because so many people, you are always got light. You are always excited and encouraging. And I'm like, oh, I was breaking on the inside, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to really get to a place to where people understood and saw how vulnerability is also strength and how
Yes.
sharing and being yourself can also connect with people and they connect with real. I don't
Yeah.
have to be anything that I'm not. I don't have to act like I have everything all together.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole thing about being a real woman who can empower other women who might be going through a similar challenge. A lot of times we front it, we put on these masks and we put on our makeup and we get out of the house and we go. And meanwhile, inside, you've got all this stuff going on. So I can see we've been
Absolutely.
joined by the beautiful Shamika Gibson, who's the wonderful woman who met
Yay!
us. Shamika, hey.
Hey, hey.
Thank you for extending my network of friends and tribal leaders. As I told you, we are coming to the US in a really big way. And I'm so excited to have met another one of your tribe who's now one of my tribe. Oh, man. So, if there was a woman who is listening to us right now,
Mhm.
she is overweight. She has reached that point where she doesn't know what to do anymore. If you could give her 3 nuggets of wisdom, advice on the next steps, what would you say?
one, to be graceful. When you are heavy weighted with weights, you don't want to be kind to yourself, and you don't want to give yourself grace. You don't want to be loving, and I would say be graceful. Another thing is, do not be afraid to reach out for help. That was
Mhm.
another thing. A lot of times we want to just kind of fix the physical. You know, if I
Yes.
get this surgery, or if I just do this, then if I lose and become this size, then everything's going to go away. And I don't think that exists. You even shared about how you're still continually going through. And the last thing is, give yourself time, because what I've learned is this is a lifelong process. With health and
Mhm.
wellness, we want to stop and be done right away. And
Yeah.
it lasts forever. And to the day that I don't breathe anymore, I'll be working on some area of health and wellness, whether that be mind, body, financial, something in me I'll be working on for the rest of my life. So enjoy it.
That is so true. Absolutely true. Now, where do you see yourself in the future? If I was
Mm.
to teleport you to the 100-year-old you, and you're sitting on your balcony with your grandchildren and great grandchildren surrounding you, if you could have a conversation with that wise woman who's lived this amazing life, what would you say to her?
I mean, I definitely see myself in a capacity of sharing my story and staying on this journey until I can't do it anymore. There's nothing that gives me joy like sharing with people how to be free, how to be better, how to be their best. And I get no other gid in my spirit like that gives me. So I definitely can see myself on whatever level speaking and sharing and giving this stuff, along with some other business entrepreneurial things with helping larger bodies feel comfortable. So I can definitely see myself in that capacity. My legacy will be one of life. I want to really be remembered of one that lived, loved, and loved others. I really want
I like that. Yeah, you have to live life to the full and leave this planet with no juices left, no juices wasted, right?
that. I want to leave empty. I do want to leave empty. I don't want to leave full.
I absolutely love that. Now, the theme for this oncoming conference is the power of giving. So, I want to ask you a couple of questions. What changed your life when someone gave to you?
Great question. I believe what changed my life is it's I had she wasn't a family member by blood, but my all of my family is from Ohio mostly, and in Florida and things, but we moved here to Indianapolis, and a lady took us in, and she was like a mother to me, and she gave on every level. She is part of how I am and who I am, what I am today. And it showed me how to never be stingy, how to never be selfish, how to give everything, because it's like that ripple effect. I kind of see giving like that. As you drop that penny or drop that coin in that water, it ripples and ripples and ripples. We don't know who it all touches. And if you touch one life, that one life touches another life, that touches another life. And then the world is changed. That's how I see it.
Oh, I love that. I love the ripple effect analogy because you're right. My grandmother used to say when you give to someone, you're giving to yourself, and that it comes back tenfold in the most unexpected ways, and not from the person you've given to, but just in these magical little synchronicities that connect you with the right people. So, my second
Absolutely.
question is, what changed your life when you gave to someone else?
What changed my life when I gave someone else? I think what changed my life is it gave me a greater uh, depth and capacity to be compassionate. I think I am one that has sometimes a misunderstanding or immeasurable level of compassion and mercy. And with giving does that for me. It gives me a deeper depth and level of compassion and mercy for others.
Oh, I love that. You've got all the right words for these questions. Okay. The last question is, why is giving so important for the future of humanity?
Oh, I think it's important because just like we have the world, I am a firm believer in the world is only impacted and changed by our worlds impacting and changing. So as we apply things like giving and things like pouring into others, the world is transformed. And so if I don't do my part of giving, how is the world better? And if the world is not better, it's because probably somewhere I need to give.
I forgot to come back and I love that. And the reason why I kept disappearing and coming back is because I want to repurpose your interview for TikTok. So I'm going to
Okay.
grab little sound bites of all of these magical things you've shared today and share them on our new TikTok account. So thank you so much for playing the game with me.
My
So is there
pleasure.
something I should have asked you and didn't?
I think you did great. I love the questions, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to share.
I'm just writing to Shamika to see if she can join us for a few minutes before we end our interview. So while we're waiting for her response, I
Mm-hmm.
would love you to share a message, and I'll show you an example of messages that have been shared today by, oh man, so many women from right across the globe. I'm calling it Dear Women. And you could share anything, any inspiring little message to the women of the world. So let me show you one example I got this morning.
Hi, my name is Faitha Gurgu and I am based in Sydney, Australia. Happy International Women's Day. As I reflect on this year's theme of Break the Gender Bias, I'm also reminded that as a woman of colour, I am accustomed to being marginalised. I don't welcome it, I don't particularly like it, but I am used to living in that intersection between sexism and racism. And doing so, I've found that gender bias tends to be slightly less aggressive than racism. But I do believe, in terms of gender bias, the women have a big part to play in breaking this bias, in the way that we support each other, in the way that we champion each other, and making a commitment to create space for each other to succeed. To that end, I strongly believe that we as women hold the key to breaking the gender bias.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you to just ad lib and give out a message to all the women in the world for International Women's Day.
Okay, on International Women's Day, I have a message of love for you. And I hope that you, as a woman, will embrace authentic love. Authentic love includes freedom, boundaries, respect, and honor of yourself, and how you support you and talk about and to and with yourself more than anybody else. So today, on International Women's Day, I encourage you to be grateful for who you are, be thankful for all that you have, and embrace your present and know that you are a great woman.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And although I agree with Faith that women are responsible for changing gender bias, I also think that men have got a large part to play in all of the issues that women are encountering today. So I'm going to end with a little message that I recorded to men. It is called Dear Men. And I wanted to appeal to our brothers, our husbands, our men folk to see us for who we truly are. I wanted to appeal to them to remember that we are their mothers, we are their grandmothers, their sisters, their nieces, their wives. So we'll end with that, but don't go away after this because I want to talk to you a little bit further, okay?
Okay.
Dear men, today is International Women's Day. And as we celebrate and recognize the contributions of women worldwide, we ask you to accelerate action towards gender parity. Make it your mission to make your workplace more loved and inclusive, an organization that is different on this planet. Strive to be open-minded, use inclusive language, and allow your actions to be guided by your commitments to change behavior. Create a workspace where equity exists and strive to create a 50-50 male to female ratio across all of your teams. Continue to work across all genders and understand the intersectionality of your workforce. Please aim to eliminate stereotypes, discrimination, and bias. This is this year's theme for International Women's Day 2022. So break the bias. We are here calling on you to see that I am your grandmother. I am your wife. I am your mother. I am your daughter. I am your niece. Dear men, in a world of abundance, why can we not share? Why can you not pay me for the job I do here? I get to work at 8 and sometimes finish late. I put in the hours, so why the bias? Dear men, break the bias. Make sure you hire us. Give us equal pay as we deliver what is required every day. Infuse your organization with a feminine energy. Our gentleness will lace and diversity embrace. To create a better world and change the human race. Dear men, we ask you this. Will you call out gender bias, stereotyping, and discrimination when you see it? Will you break the bias? Will you cross your arms in solidarity and strike that pose for International Women's Day 2022? Together we can build a gender equal world, a world that is diverse, equitable, and fair, and more important, inclusive of us. Join the movement and let's break the bias. And remember, we are here calling on you to see that I am your grandmother. I am your mother. I am your daughter. I am your niece. I am your wife. Break the bias. That was my little message to all the men out there to help us break the bias and create some magic in our lives. And now we have the lovely Melissa. Hello.
I'm cooking because it's dinner time in America right now.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you? Happy International Women's Day.
Happy National Women's Day to you too. Meet Janece. She's also in the US. She's just given us the most inspiring interview motivation for women today. So when I saw you on LinkedIn, I was like, yes, come, let's hang out for a few minutes.
I'm here, and I'm with my family, and I'm cooking, and it's the first time I've been home in 4 years. So I just feel really loved, and
that is awesome. Absolutely fantastic. So you're going to give us a Dear Women message. We're going to exit the stage and give you 5 minutes to deliver an inspiring message to women worldwide, okay?
Okay, fine. Like, let me finish this.
While you're cooking.
While I'm cooking. I got it. Let's go. Women, we've been multitasking our whole life. Let's go. Give me 5 minutes. Oh, hi. Okay. So, You know, I talked a lot in the last 2 days on all my posts and in some podcasts about kindness. And kindness is everything in life. The older I get, kindness grows, and it's the generosity of every single day of walking into whatever space that you're in and being generous for that person is such key, whether that's a waitress or the person that you're paying at your gas pump, or as we say in Australia, the fuel pump. It's about just sharing light. And that sounds so hippie, but it's not. And I know that I'm from San Francisco originally, so it is kind of hippie, but that's what life is all about. And being women, instead of this idea that we ever have to tear each other down, I've never experienced that, ever. Because I always give women around me the energy and love and passion that they need in that moment. And then they carry that on and give that to other people. So it's about building each other up. And I know that we remind ourselves about that all the time, but that's what it's all about. And I love you all, and I hope you all have a beautiful day, and that you wake up every day and you say that I am beautiful and that I am enough, and I'm going to get done what I can get done today. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Yay! You're so funny. It's like, do you want to chat? And then you're like, go live. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, let's go.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I miss you.
I miss you. Mwah. Much love to all of you.
Melbourne.
I'll come back in. I'm going to go to New York next because I have a show to do. I get to be on stage in New York City. So I'm going to go do that. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to build an empire of women, powerful women. And we're going to make a lot of money, and we're going to do a lot of change and a lot of good for the community. And we're going to get as many women into leadership as possible.
Awesome. Thank you. Take care. And bye-bye to everybody who tuned in today. This is my last recording for the day. I'm now going to go out. I've got 2 occasions, 2 functions that got me to dress up in my African attire. I'm going to celebrate International Women's Day with a bunch of really cool women here in Melbourne. So I'm feeling really full and feeling really blessed. And Mel, we need to catch up and talk. I've got so much I want to share with you. I'll send you a message on LinkedIn, and maybe tomorrow let's connect after.
I cannot wait. Let's build the world together, baby. I cannot wait. Let's go.
I love it.
Bye. Oh, wow. Okay, so we'll end our broadcast and we'll continue talking after that. So bye-bye, everybody. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.